Floor.
Doing well, thank you.
So is this your first Latin American tour with ReVamp?
Yeah.
And how's it been?
Very good, very good. I mean, we were supposed to do one already back in 2001 for the first album, but unfortunately, due to me getting sick, we had to cancel. So a lot of people here have been waiting a very long time, also because I was in After Forever before, and people didn't see me until that moment, until I came with Nightwish actually last year, but that also helped, getting ReVamp here again. So it's very good to be here, and it's great to see how people really know the music, sing along with it, support this band. It's really, really cool.
And do you have any expectations towards this Latin American tour? Like you had something in mind, or?
Well, I since it was not my first time, I knew that people are very passionate here about the music and about the artists. So I was hoping to feel that passion when we are playing, and that really came true. I mean, we've been doing quite a few shows already. We're down to the last 4 now, and it's really cool to see. And also that every country has its own approach, because every culture brings their own interpretation, but the overall feeling really matches what I was hoping for, that it would be a warm welcome, and it was. So.
And so far, what's like your favorite thing of Latin America?
Well, it's always been the weather, because I have always been here summertime, or like when it was warm. It was one of the cool things I love so much. The whole vibe when it's warm and tropical and everything. I love the coffee and the wine that comes from here. But I guess mostly just the way fans are. Their support is one of the best in the world.
Okay. And you guys have been touring for about like 6 weeks or more, like before in the US?
Yeah, 8 now.
Weeks.
Yeah.
How do you manage to stay like healthy, like physically healthy, and as well as your voice? How do you handle that?
Well, it's a day-to-day thing actually, to constantly feel how am I doing. If there's a party, should I go there, or should I skip? Because the actual work itself is not the most hard. Like in the States, we played a lot of shows, but we only play 30 minutes, and you have your bus, so you can always sleep if you want to. Here in Latin America, we fly almost every day, and there are not too many normal nights. So I'm one of those people that need 8 hours. I haven't been able to have too many nights of that. So you basically have to sleep whenever you can, and stay in touch with yourself, and don't push anything. Eat healthy, sleep enough, and some people can just drink whatever. I should not do that. It messes with my muscles. It messes with your natural resistance. So if that goes down, and usually every tour I have a couple of days where I get sick. It's almost inevitable, because there's always a little breach in your system, and there are always bugs and viruses around that get to you. So I've had a couple of days in the States where I got sick, and it actually took quite a while, because it was a really, really nasty virus that almost everyone had, which usually always happens. But then it's good to know my voice very well, what I can and cannot do. And I must admit that my instrument here is getting very, very tired due to a couple of things. And then every day again, be careful, don't talk too much, see what you can and cannot do, and that's it.
And how do you kind of like back out from all those things, and like when you're feeling like sick or something, what are the kind of things that you do for your voice? Like if you have some home remedies or...
Well, I mean, it depends on how you're sick. But for instance, I got I got mucus stuck on my chest and in my throat. So I use something that loosens up mucus, so I don't have to cough too much, because the coughing is the most irritation. And it really depends on what you're having. But the only thing you can really do is sleep. Sleep. Take rest, don't talk, sleep.
And you've become a recent vegetarian?
Yeah.
And how's it going? You know, the being on tour and being a vegetarian. How's the experience?
Yeah, it's new. I mean, I realized that I had to sort of reinvent menus and reinvent what I like, and there are a couple of things. I didn't stop eating meat because I didn't like it anymore, so there's still a lot of things like, oh, I would like to eat that. What are the other options? Doing a nightliner tour in the States gave me more opportunities to really seek for food myself. Here in Latin America, I'm a little more dependent on the menus and restaurants, and we're in a very meat-oriented continent, so it's not always easy to find something, and because it's new for me, I sometimes, really have to take my time for it, but I haven't missed it for a minute, and I feel very good about it, and that helps also when the menu is not exactly vegetarian proof.
And the guys of your band are supportive with this new style that you've chosen?
What is supportive? I guess they, as long as they can eat their meat and I don't nag about it, they're supportive of me. I don't think they really care.
Okay. How is it, you know, to be the only girl between a bunch of guys, you know?
I have no idea how it would be the other way around. I've been doing this since my teens, and I get more awkward when there are only girls. I had to learn that more than be among the guys, and I started realizing it more when I started touring less and spend more time with girlfriends. Like, there are a couple of things that I took over, or from guys, or became unfamiliar with. And I learned to appreciate the girl stuff more. I had to learn it. It's kind of weird, but if you start doing this young and you always hang with guys, I really have no idea how to be. I could never be in a girl band, for instance. It probably wouldn't work with me. But I learned the girl stuff now, and I like it. But I'm a bit of a one of the guys kind of girl without being the tomboy.
Okay, and like you do your own makeup and you choose your stage clothes and all that. And how is it, for a girl to pack? Like, what does Floor Jansen pack for a tour?
Well, always too much. I always have overweight and a terrible problem with it because, I mean, for this tour, this is a 9-week tour, starting in North America, going from north up to Canada, down to Florida, California, back up and down, and now here, winter in Latin America. I've literally seen 4 seasons in 8 weeks. And that also means that you back a thick woolen sweater for the minus whatever Celsius temperatures when it's freezing, but also for a summer dress and my stage clothes. So I would have liked to pack more stage clothes, but I have a lot of leather stuff and it's super heavy. So I really had to I have only 1 leather option with me now and 2 dresses that are light, relatively light. And then, that's stage-wise. Plus I have a terrible shoe addiction and it's really, really difficult for me to choose what shoes to bring, and it pains my heart every pair I can bring. And then, of course, when I'm touring, not to buy them and not to buy any other clothing for that matter, because there's just no possibility of bringing it. Packing is always a bit of a challenge for me, and I'm not getting any better in bringing less. It's still difficult. The only thing I can advise everyone who travels, especially if you travel a lot, is to buy these plastic bags that you can seal off. Those, how do you call it, you push the air out so it's all, because it takes less space. And it doesn't wrinkle so much, all your clothing. And if you have dirty laundry, you can have 1 bag for that and seal it off, and you don't have the smells in your suitcase. And whatever's clean stays clean. Okay. That is something that I started using a couple of years back, and if I should do any recommendations, it's definitely that.
Alright. Yeah. Because I thought that, like guys, usually they're like very simple, they are the clothes and that's pretty much it.
I need jeans, I need a t-shirt, and I need a sweater for when it's cold. Oh, and socks and underwear. Yeah, it's not that easy for me, unfortunately. Plus, I do like to wear different clothing, like not to wear the same for 9 weeks.
So now you got it all managed, you know how to make it work for you.
Yeah, and how to make combinations so you still have some variations to what you're wearing. But yeah, I think every girl on tour faces the same challenge. But, you know, I always kind of see it though as this is my backline. I need my stage clothing. They're usually more and heavier than the guys. They bring a guitar, I bring a leather outfit.
Exactly.
They bring an amplifier, I bring makeup and shoes. And everything's equally important actually, because yeah. So that's how I justify it for myself.
A very good way to see it.
Yeah, it's my backline.
All right. And so, how is it to be a girl in music industry, and especially in the metal scene? You know, do you think people treat you in a different way, or like you have to build up a certain character to do what you want to do?
Yeah, but building up a character for yourself, I think that's for men and women. But that people look at you differently, yes. But again, I've never experienced it any differently. I do notice the difference between now and let's say 15 years ago, because there are more and more female-fronted bands or bands with girls in it. It takes a type of girl, I guess, to be able to do this. Maybe more the one of the guys kind of girls, with respect for the things that are different for us.
How do you find your own identity? How do you stick to it?
Yeah, it's a process. If I look at how I dressed when I was younger, you can see I was too much one of the guys. As far as being very feminine, it took me a while to be able to do that without becoming too sexy, because the last thing I wanted to do is emphasize the sex element. And when I grew a little older, I realized that sex element is not that bad, but it should not be, cheap. We have things in our looks that men don't have. That's great. You know, we have nice curves. Why not show them? Why not use them? Because we have them, and I'm proud of that. Without everyone having to look at me like a piece of meat with boobs, and only emphasizing the fact that I have them. Because that, I think, is a little, well, narrow-minded and childish perhaps. But yeah, I wear what I feel is comfortable, and I feel is emphasizing the good elements in my body. I even give performer trainings and thinking about that now, like how do you position yourself also has to do with being aware of who you are, of course, to start with. That is a mental thing, but it also, when it comes to physics, the way you look, the way you dress, it's good to know what you like about yourself and what you don't like so much about yourself. If you have a huge ass, don't wear something that emphasizes your ass. If you have huge boobs and you want to show them, by all means do. And if you have a nice, wrist like that and you want to show it. So I started looking at myself a bit more like that, and acknowledging the things that I like about myself, and also being okay with the things that I don't like so much, and adjust my stage clothing to that. I think for me, one of the things I found very difficult is the fact that I'm very tall, and usually taller than most men. And I'm not exactly small either. I'm not fat, but I'm not like this small little girl. So how do you dress without becoming... And later I thought, you know what, I am this way. I'm quite a bombastic personality, and it matches with how I look. Why not emphasize that and make a role out of that? And I feel comfortable in that, but it's a process. It took many years, so I guess for everyone that goes that way. And the fact that I'm a woman, well, usually gets emphasized more by the questions I get about it than the way I feel in the daily routine. And sure, I can see that some men are more interested in me as an artist because I'm a woman, but that kind of attention is not very important for me.
Okay.
And I know how to just dodge it now, whatever.
My next question is about what's your perception on the future of the music industry? Is something that worries you, or how do you see that panorama?
It doesn't worry me because it's an organic thing. I think it's very interesting what's happening now with more and more bands being able to record themselves, internet, free downloading, the bigger, the rich record companies who just made money on the backs of artists. those days are over. So there's less money, people need to be more creative. Also, the record labels, everyone's in there together, so you see more equality between the industry and artists. Artists get smarter and more business oriented, and I think record labels have a big challenge in getting the market in focus again. And I think that's a very interesting development. I just hope that it's not going to go into a direction where teens nowadays, kids nowadays, or the next generation think that music is a free item and artists are just happy people that have the, luxury of making music, but there's no business in it anymore. But that's just the most negative element. I think it's, like I said, organic, and I think it could come out very good.
What are the plans with Nightwish?
Well, we start recording an album this summer, so July, August, September, and in March, April next year there will be a new album and new tours.
And we can expect to see you in Latin America again with Nightwish?
I sure think we're going to work on tours, yes.
Sounds great. I have a fan question. They say that being in Nightwish now, it seems to be like such a big dream, and now you kind of like have accomplished that. And what do you dream about now?
Well, I mean, you can reach a certain goal, but to be able to maintain it and to make a super successful album with Nightwish, with me on it, that's another goal. And to get the band to the next level with me in it is a goal. And on the long run, I would love to be able to have a career that has a bit of a stable thing with not too many crazy ups, but certainly no more great downs. That would be something to dream about and grow old with. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Do you have a message for your fans?
Well, they say marriages are for the good and the bad, and in a way I feel married to my fans because I've had the support in the good but also in the bad days, and I'm extremely grateful for that and hope our marriage can last much longer, maybe with some bad times and also with some good times, but I am super grateful for what I'm able to do, and great to have your back. And I hope you enjoy what I'm doing, whether it's with ReVamp or Nightwish or whatever I do. So, gracias. Thank you.